I am not going to keep using this tail tighty. I've had this tail tighty for about 2 months. If I still had my MT-07 or my Tracer 900, I would not be changing out the tail tighty. The way it looks, I just like it so much better. The negatives don't really apply because those are road only bikes. I will say this does look better than the OEM tail tighty. Here being that, if I hold it right next to each other, you can see that I get a bit more protection from dirt debris and such. But you can see the mud that was behind the plate. So even when it's not a really muddy road, because I do try to avoid the mud, this gets covered in mud and the plate gets covered and you can't really see my lights. Now I know I could always open the box, pull out a towel and wipe it off every time I get back on the street. And I also know that you're supposed to wash your bike every time you get back covered in mud, and I kind of do, but there are 2 problems with that are pertinent to me. And remember, this is my bike. Do what you want with your own bike at your own risk. Don't build your bike based on social media influencers. But the 2 big issues with keeping this, where it flings mud all over it, is if I'm riding with someone, which has only ever happened once in the dirt, but I've also found other traffic in the dirt. If this is covered in mud and they can't see my brake light, I could imagine that causing a bit of a dangerous situation. And the other thing is, I'm filming this 2 days after Halloween and 2 days before we officially move back to a bigger city, and we will be living on the 6th floor of an apartment. I don't have anywhere to hook up a hose, so if I keep this, every time I have to wash my bike, I have to go to a gas station or a cleaning spot and pay money. So I'm increasing the cost with money I don't have to ride this bike and go in the dirt. So that's just not really realistic. The OEM as it is, if we flip it over, other than the stainless steel bolts that are easy to replace, it's all plastic. And if we look underneath, it would all go back to being plastic. And this is aluminum, not that it'll rust, but if I can't clean it thoroughly every time, and it doesn't really matter that much, I'll leave this on, and the lights are a little better protected too. They stick out better. They're not quite in the target of the mud. The mud would have to go past this and then get all over it. They'll get dirty, but then it is just wiping. If I don't have blinkers, well, neither does most of the drivers in New Jersey or BMW owners. But if I don't have a brake light, that's a problem. And if you can't read my plate, police officer may not enjoy that very much. Now, before I keep going, I'm just going to pull this off and hold them in the hand to compare them directly. In the hand, holding this that I made and holding this, there's a clear weight difference. Probably at most 1 kilo. And I understand that for the weight weenies, of which I may or may not be one, 1 kilo is quite a difference. But when I'm actually riding the bike, I gotta say, I don't notice at all the weight savings. I know if I do everything, like the muffler, the this, the that, the everything, and it all adds up. But in this specific case, it's not that noticeable. Aesthetically, yeah, this setup looks better than this. This isn't a bike I bought to set up as a beauty pageant bike. Despite being a YouTuber, I obviously benefit for you guys liking the way my bike looks. I'm picking function over form, and I'm keeping this one, so I can always put it back on if I change my mind. The moral of this story is, ride your own ride on the bike that's right for you and be safe. Don't do what other people want. Don't do things for the opinions of complete strangers on the internet. And there we are. It's back on. I don't think it looks bad. I do think the tail tighty looks better, but it's just going to be so much more protective for the bike. But that's it. Thanks for watching. Ride safe. Ride your own ride. And this has been Kaiju Rider. See you later.